Hello, 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 everybody. This is Dr. Sandra, and welcome to Impact Academy. And I am so excited to be with you on tonight. We have some great teaching lined up for you tonight. And I tell you what, if you've missed the past couple of Impact Academies, let me tell you to go back and go through the units section. You can look at the units section in the Facebook group, and you'll be able to see all of the teaching that we've done up to this point. So if you've missed any of them, please go ahead, go back and look at any replays that you need to watch. We're getting ready to do a different subject on tonight. We're still talking about our next and how we line up to our next. I am excited. I see people joining in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm not exactly sure. I need for someone to write me a text and send me a note and let me see. I've been having some issues with whether or not I can actually see the comments on my phone, and for some reason I just cannot see those comments on my phone. I see lots of people are joining in. If somebody can just say hello or something like that. I got a feeling y'all have already said hello and I just can't see it. So while we're waiting, give me a few more minutes, and while we're waiting, I'm going to see if I can pull the comments up here on my laptop. I'm not exactly sure what is going on here. I tell you what, sometimes these laptops and desktops, they tend to not get synced. If I go like from one place to another and I go hop on one Wi-Fi and get on another Wi-Fi, they tend not to sync, and I think that's what's happening here. So let me go ahead and get started. I am excited to see everybody on tonight. I see people have joined. I see Ernestine. I see Della. Hello, welcome, welcome. I see Amy. I see Phyllis. Excuse me, had a sneeze there. I see Tanya. Hello, Tanya. How are you doing? I see Roberta. Welcome, welcome. I am still trying to get this up on my laptop, y'all. I tell you what, if it is not one thing, it's another. All right, it's going to restart my laptop really quickly. And welcome, everyone. I see Kimberly. Welcome, welcome. I'm not going to, I can't say hello to everybody because people are hopping on and joining in. And tonight, I'm going to give you some really, really, really good action type of work to do tonight, some action type of teaching. I tell you what, I've really been studying this and going over this, and if you don't have pencil and paper with you tonight, I need you to go ahead and get that, okay, because you're going to need that. If you've ever been on any of my teaching before, you know that you have to have some sort of pencil and paper to when you're listening to me teach, right? I'm just trying to restart my laptop. I'm not exactly sure why it won't restart. Okay? For some reason, it's locked up. I want to see y'all's comments. That's why I'm trying to restart this laptop. For some reason, it will not restart. Hello, some of you are new tonight, and I want to welcome you. I'm going to wait about maybe one more minute, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with tonight's teaching. Try to give people time enough to get on, because what I've come to learn with Facebook is that it is a little bit, let me do a force quit there. Hold on just a second. Let me force quit this. There we go. Now I can do a restart. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to restart this so we can reconnect to the Wi-Fi. All right, or to my wireless. There we go. Now, some of you I haven't seen on here before, so welcome, Robin. I see Krista, Lysandra. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started in about 30 more seconds, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I had a little bit of technical difficulty. I don't like to. Usually I have all this worked out beforehand. I cannot figure out why in the world it would not let me see comments on my phone anymore. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. But as soon as I get my laptop plugged in, I'll be able to see y'all's comments. I'm not exactly sure what was going on with the laptop either. One of those nights, I guess. Okay, but as you can tell, I got the lighting right tonight. Last week's lighting was so horrible. I found out what that problem was, and we got all that fixed. Okay, so again, welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Sandra Wall-Williams, and I am the CEO and founder of the Vision Building Institute. And I'd like to welcome everyone here on tonight. It's about 9:05 Eastern Standard Time. I'd like to welcome everyone here. I see lots of people are joining in. We have a fabulous topic for you on tonight, and I'm excited to bring it to you. So, tonight's topic is the 5 things that you need, 5 actions you need to take when it's time to go. Okay, 5 actions you need to take when it's time to go. Now, for those of you that are new to the Vision Building Institute and especially to Impact Academy, let me give you a little bit of background to who I am and about overall Impact Academy. So, Impact Academy was birthed because there were a lot of women who had questions about their calling, their vision, what God had called them to do. And so I am a vision coach, and I am an executive coach and mentor. And one of the things that I do a lot is to help people get to their next wherever God is going to be leading them next. And how do you get there? What are the strategies to get you there? What are the plans to get you there? And so I do coaching around that. I coach women in corporate. I coach executives. I coach women who are mid-level and senior level managers. I coach women who are pastors and ministers and church leaders, nonprofit leaders. Pretty much the majority of the people I coach are in leadership of somehow, in some way. But the biggest part is that they are working towards their vision and the next thing that they want to be able to do. And so the Impact Academy came out of the fact that there were other kinds of questions that we had that really didn't have a lot to do with our vision, but it had to do with us getting to the next step, working on ourselves or rebuilding ourselves so that we could build our vision. So Impact Academy actually came out of that. So many of you send me in questions, and I do teaching around those questions. So if there are those of you that have questions that you have and you want to ask, then please, by all means, go ahead and send me those. You can send it to me via Messenger. You can put the question up in Facebook, and we'll go over it there. But I develop an entire teaching around the questions, okay? So now, I got my Facebook up here, and want to turn that off. And now I can see your comments. Yay! All right, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at your comments. And hello, everybody. Everybody's saying, hey, 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 hey. Hello, everybody. I love to see these comments, all right? So Ernestine says the lighting is great. Thank you, because last week it was horrible, but we did find out the problem. My husband changed the bulb, and he didn't realize that bulb was a bulb that needed to stay in there for the lighting. Shh, don't tell anybody. But it was Dennis's fault. Okay, so now, over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about next, okay? Because one thing that I am known for, regardless of where I go or what I'm doing, who I'm helping, and my goal and the people that I work with are women who want to rebuild themselves so they can build their vision. You got a goal, you got a vision inside you that God has given you, and you want to build yourself so that you can do that, all right? And so one of the things that I often do is I work with women to be able to do that. So like I said, companies bring me in to work with their managers, their leaders, their executives. I coach and mentor women in Fortune 500 companies, in nonprofits. I have pastors and other church leaders who are my clients. And before I did this, I was actually the senior vice president for all 58 community colleges in North Carolina. Also a professor at NC State University. Before that, I had spent 20 years in industry, in leadership in industry. So I know a lot about leadership. I'll be very frank with you. There is not much that I have not seen. Going from the ranks of first level manager all the way up to a C level or a chief level in industry and in government, and now running my own company, there's not a lot, to be frank with you, that I have not seen or have not experienced. And so one of the things that, when I got to a point where it was like, you know what, either I'm going to step out and run my own company and really do what I want to do, or I'm not. Okay, so I really had to make a decision about when it's time to go. And so someone asked me the question, they said, Dr. Sandra, how do you know when it's time to leave? How do you know when it's time to say goodbye? Okay, like Carol Burnett used to say. Okay, how do you know it's time to say goodbye and move on? And the question came out of someone wanting to leave a particular entity. And when they asked me that question, I actually had been researching it because I'm actually doing a presentation on it at the Virginia Women's Business Conference this Friday. I'll be up in Northern Virginia, in Leesburg, Virginia, at the Leesburg Resort. And the Virginia Business Women's Conference is there, and they invited me back again this year. And I'm actually going to be teaching on that particular topic. How do you know it's time to go? Okay, and GO is an acronym for Get Out. So if you missed last week, I actually taught that last week in last week's session. So if you missed that, go back to that and listen to that, because I gave you the 5 signals when it's time to go. G-O, okay, and GO is get out, all right? The 5 signals to get out. And the name of that particular presentation was How Do You Take the Leap, or Take the Leap, the 5 signals when it's time to go. Now, I'm going to give you those 5 signals tonight. And if you weren't here last week, just write them down and then go back and actually look at the session from last Sunday, okay, from last Sunday if you missed that. So, first of all, we said that LEAP is an acronym. Now, I'm going to give you some new content tonight, but I want to just very quickly give me 5 minutes to review what we did last week. So those of you that weren't on here last week, you'll have a foundation for what I'm going to be talking about this week. But I do want you to go back and look at last week's, because last week's was Take the Leap, the 5 signals that you know it's time to move on. All right. And keep in mind, these are signals whether you are in a work situation, whether you are in a church situation, whether you are in a, I want to say a relationship, but the relationships are a little bit gentle. There's more things you have to deal with in a relationship than just what I'm giving you here or what I gave you last week. But we talked about that. So I can't go into detail on tonight because we've got some new content, but I do want to let you know that what I gave you last week, if you look at the whole teaching from last week, it really can help you in different situations, really can. So let me go ahead and go over these 5, okay, from last week, just very quickly. I'm not going to give you any detail, just give you what they were, and I really want you to go back and look at the teaching from last week, okay? Now, so last week we said the title was Take the Leap, okay? How do you know when it's time to move on? And LEAP, L-E-A-P, is an acronym. Oh no, I'm sorry, an acrostic. I think it's called. Let me get it correct. LEAP is an acrostic for launch exceptionally into your accurate position. Okay, LEAP is launch exceptionally into your accurate position. If somebody could put that into the chat, that'd be great. Let me make sure I can see the chat. So if somebody could put that into the chat. That LEAP, L-E-A-P, is launch exceptionally into your accurate position. All right, that's what LEAP stands for. All right, so now how do you know when it's time to launch exceptionally into your accurate position? And we talked about what accurate position is and all of that, and I gave you 5 signals to let you know it's time to go. Okay, to let you know that it's time to leap. Okay, all right. Let's see, some of you, okay, thank you, Kimberly. So, okay, I was looking at these things a little bit incorrectly. Now I've got it. There we go. Looking at the comments wrong. Now I've got it. Okay, so how do you know it's time to leap? I gave you 5 signals. And leap, remember, is to launch exceptionally into your accurate position. Okay, here. These are the 5 signals I gave you last week. Number 1, there's no growth. You're not growing. Right? Whatever growth means to you, it's not happening. Okay? So if you're in a church and it's time to go, there's no spiritual growth. Okay? If you're in a job and it's time to go, there's no professional growth. If you are in a relationship and you want to know if it's time to go, there's really no growth between you and that person. You and that person either argue a lot or you get stuck a lot or something like that, but it's just there's no growth on your part or the other person's part, okay, with that particular person. The second thing is we talked about last week is that you're not motivated. Okay. There's no motivation for you to do anything. Okay. Think about being on a job and you're in a particular job and every day you get out of the bed and you don't want to go to work. Okay. Or every Sunday you go to church and you just don't want to be there. All right. And I'm not trying to tell anybody that it's time to leave their job or it's time to leave their church or it's time to leave whatever it is that you're thinking about leaving. I'm just giving you some signals that you need to really think about. Okay. And before I forget this, we said that everything that we're talking about tonight, everything has to be undergirded in prayer, that you have to pray first. Okay. Because God will show you the signals. Believe me, been there, done that. Got my bag of chips on some of these, that God will show you the signals. Okay. He will let you see these signals that it's time for you to move on. The first one we said is no growth. The second one is you're not motivated to be there. Okay. You're not motivated to be there. Number 3 is that whatever it is that you're asking yourself, is it time to move on from, that thing is draining and not sustaining. That means it is draining you. It's sucking the very life out of you. It is not sustaining you. It is not helping you grow. You're not motivated. When something sustains you, you're excited about it. You get something out of it every time that you're there. Okay. If there's, or sometimes you're in a particular situation, there's stuff happening in the background and you may not even be involved in the stuff, but the stuff that's happening is just making you sick. Okay. It could be at work. It could be at church. It could be at a nonprofit. It could be something that you're volunteering for. But whatever it is, okay, if it is draining you, if it is draining the very life out of you, okay, let me know that you guys are back on. For some reason, Sheila, I can actually see your comments. Okay. Can you all let me know that you're back on? I made a mistake and hit the, thank you. I see the lights coming across. I made the mistake and hit the wrong button. So Sheila, I don't know why I can see your comments and I can't see everybody. Okay, now the comments are coming through. I have no idea what I just did. You know what? But it don't even matter. We're just going to keep on rolling. Praise you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. I don't know what happened. But anyway, thank you. Okay, I see everybody saying you're on. Thank you. I'm not exactly sure what happened. So anyway, let me review again. No growth, number 1. You're not motivated, number 2. Number 3 is draining you and not sustaining you. Yes, you're anointed. Touch, Sheila. Hey, Sharon, how are you doing? My classmate. Mwah. And for another little Philly in the house Okay. Hey, Cheryl. Hi, everybody. All right. So I'm all excited, y'all, because I can see my comments. I'm so excited. All right. So there's no growth. You're not motivated. It's draining, not sustaining. Number 4. The fourth signal, okay, is that the environment, and this is a key one right here, the environment is tainted or toxic, okay? The environment is tainted or toxic, okay? Tainted or toxic. If you're in an environment that is toxic to you, okay, and let me tell you, I said I wasn't going to give you an example. Let me give you this example, then I'm going to get to my content for tonight. I was in an environment that, and I'm actually still in the environment, but I had to take myself out of some things that was going on. Okay. So I was in an environment where it was toxic to me because it was making me act differently. It was making me become someone that I am not. Okay. It was making me act a certain way and talk about different things that I really, God is in control of this situation. So it was making me act and do some certain things. And I just wasn't sure that this was for me, but it was toxic to me. It was killing me. It was killing me spiritually. Okay. And although I'm actually still in the environment, I took myself out of some things that were going on. Okay. So sometimes when you take a leap, sometimes the leap may not be to leave a place. The leap could be to stay in the place, but leave the situation. That was good. All right. I didn't have that on last week. That just came tonight. Okay. That sometimes taking the leap means that you may have to stay in the place. All right. Stay in the job, stay in the church, stay in the volunteer situation, stay in the relationship, but move yourself out of a particular situation. Okay. Remove yourself out of a situation. Okay. And then the last one was number 5, know that there's more for you. Okay. Know that there is more for you. Okay. God has so much in store, and he has so much that he has for you. And if you're in a place where there's no growth, number 1, number 2, you're not motivated. Number 3, it's draining you and not sustaining you. Number 4, the environment is tainted or toxic. You really have to understand, if you're experiencing any of those, you really need to pray and ask God, God, am I to be here? What about me? What about this situation do you want me here in this place? Do I need to remove myself from the situation? Hey, Daphne, how you doing? Daphne says preach, okay? So one of the things that as you look at or ask yourself the question about leaving something, you really have to determine whether or not what it is that you need to leave. Is it the actual entity, the organization, the job, the church, the relationship, or do you just need to remove yourself out of some things that are going on? Okay. I've experienced that I had to remove myself out of some things that were going on. Okay. Don't know why. All right. But I've learned that when things got too toxic for me, when it began to change me and to change who God has called me to be for the worse. Okay. Let me make that clear. When it began to change me for the worse, it's time to move out and move on. Okay. Time to move out and move on. All right. So that's what we talked about last week. That's what I taught last week. And so if you were not on last week and didn't see it live, then please go back. Last week was November 19th, I believe. So go back to November 19th and you'll be able to listen to that replay. Now, let's get to tonight's subject. Tonight's subject is sort of continuation from last week, but tonight I'm going to be giving you the 5 actions you need to take. Once you determine that it's time for you to go, once you determine it's time for you to leap, launch exceptionally into your accurate position. Once you say, okay, these things are happening to me, I know it's time for me to go, let me go, okay? Once you decide that, once you know that, once you've prayed and God has said, okay, yes, it's time for you to leap. It's time for you to move on. These are some things that you need to do. Now, these are not things, I'm going to tell you up front, these are not things that are, go out and get your resume done or go out and, start networking. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. Okay. Because that's the kind of stuff everybody talks about. I'm talking about the kind of stuff that if you don't do these things, all right, then you end up hurting yourself in different kinds of ways, emotionally, spiritually, sometimes even financially, or even physically. So that's what these things are I'm giving you on tonight. So I'm going to give you tonight the 5 actions. Once you've prayed, once you know you've got the signals, you know it's time to move on, okay, then this is what you need to do next, okay? So, hi, Robin. Robin says you need to move on to your next. Yeah, we do. Sometimes we need to move on to our next. We realize it, but we don't really know what to do, okay? I had to drink some water. I've been talking a lot today. Been helping my sons and his friends with some projects, so I've been my voice is kind of going out. All right, so first thing you need to do, I want you to write these down. First thing you need to do, and this is a hard one, okay? You need to say goodbye to what you're leaving. Now, I know that sounds simple. To say goodbye to what you are leaving. I realize that sounds simple, but sometimes we don't want to leave the old and go to the next. Even if those 5 signals are present, even if it's toxic to you, even if it's draining you and not sustaining you, even if there's no growth, even if you're not motivated, even if you know, all right, that it's time for you to move on to your more, even if you know that, you still want to hold on to it because it is familiar. Because it's familiar. Because you're comfortable where you are. Because moving to the next job, the next church, the next relationship, the next situation, the next whatever, okay? Moving to the next requires work from you. And if you're going to move on to the next, then you've got to fully embrace the fact that it's time to move on. And you've got to say to yourself, all right, and say goodbye to whatever it is that you are leaving. Okay? Say goodbye to whatever it is you are leaving. Let me give you an example. When I moved on from community colleges, I love the people. There are some people that I still talk to there. Okay? I might see them. I get invited to lunches. I don't normally go. Okay? I get invited to certain things that are back there. There are certain people that I'm going to go back for regardless. Okay. All right. Most of those people have gone now, but I get invited to things. I'm not going to go because I've embraced my next. Okay. I've embraced what God has for me next. When you still have your foot dibbling and dabbling, okay, into something that you have left, then you have not fully embraced it. Embrace the next here or here, okay? Because you keep trying to hold on to something that God is trying to pull you out of. Okay? So, the first action that you have to take when you said, okay, I know it's time to go. I prayed about this thing. God has answered me. I fully know that I've got to get out of here. I fully know that it's time for me to move on. I understand the first thing you need to do is embrace the fact that you've got to go and you've got to say goodbye. All right. Now, what does that mean? That means that you can't do a whole lot of talking, all right, to people who are in the past, the thing that you just left from. You can't do a whole lot of talking to the people from the thing that you just left because that's keeping you drawn into it. Okay. Now, there's still some people that I mentor at community colleges. There are. As a matter of fact, it's only two. There are two people that I still mentor at community colleges. But you know what? Those people I would mentor regardless. All right? I'd mentor them regardless because they're like my son and my daughter. All right? I would mentor those two people regardless. So even if they went to another job, I'd still mentor them. Okay? We don't talk about the things that are going on there unless it has to do with the fact that I need to mentor them in some way. All right. So I don't get into, okay, what's happening there at the job. All right. Let's bring it to another. Let's give another example. Okay. You want to move on from a church. You say, okay, I want to move on from this church and I know it's time for me to go. All the signals are there. And there may be some other signals there that are personal to you. I know God is telling me to move, but every time you turn around, you're on the phone with somebody from the church and you asking them what's going on over there at the church. You've moved on. Say goodbye. What is it? Sayonara. Adios. I think it's arrivederci. I don't know. But say goodbye. Say goodbye to the old. You cannot move on to the next unless you say goodbye to the old. Okay? I like that, Sharon. Step out of the past and into the future. When you try to hold on to the past, all right, or when you try to hold on to what you just moved out of, you will never, ever completely be in your next because the space that is supposed to be used up with next is in the past. You're still holding on things. You're still using energy, talking about things in the past. You're still using voice and energy and resources and time and all that, thinking about past stuff that you can't get into the next. So the first thing you need to do when you decide, okay, God has told me, I get this. It's time for me to move on. I'm going to move on. The first thing you need to do is say goodbye. Make up in your mind that when you say, I'm out, I'm leaving, doesn't mean you don't still love the people. Doesn't mean that at all. Okay? Doesn't mean that you don't still love the people. Doesn't mean that you don't go to birthday parties or celebrations or whatever. Doesn't mean that at all. But what it does mean is that you don't get caught up in this stuff that was a signal for you to go in the first place. Come on now. All right? Don't get caught up in the stuff that was a signal for you to go in the first place. When you leave, you've decided that it's time for you to go, all right? And you're ready to go, but now you're getting caught up in the same stuff. When you're sitting there and you're talking about things and you're going over stuff and you're hearing things about people that were there then, let that go. Say goodbye. Move on to your next milestone in your next, okay? And leave that behind. Again, I'm not saying leave the situation, I'm not saying leave the people behind because there are people, you can't go anywhere, whether it is a job or whether it's a church or whether it's a volunteer opportunity or whatever it is or whatever, without developing relationships. Okay, so I'm not saying that you break off the relationship. Some of you may have to, and we're gonna get to that in a minute. But I'm not saying that you break off the relationships. What I am saying is that when you get ready to move, leave the situation, leave the talk. If somebody invites you out to lunch and all they want to talk about is what's going on from what you left, cut it. Tell them, you know what? I'm going to go out to lunch with you. I would love to talk about, let's talk about something. Let's talk about the next thing you want to be doing. Let's talk about the next thing that I'm doing. Okay? Or something like that. Don't get bogged down in what you just left. Okay? Have the space, your time, your talent, your resources. Have that for your next. Okay? Everybody got that? Everybody got that? Give me a 1 if you understand. Give me a 1 if you got that, or some likes across the screen or something like that. Okay? All right. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, let's go on to number 2. Okay? Let's go on to number 2. The second thing. Once you've decided that you see the signals, it's time to go. All right? Second thing you need to do is embrace where you are going. Embrace your next. Write that down. Embrace your next. Okay? As a matter of fact, I wrote it differently on my paper, so I need to write that down. All right? Embrace your next. Okay? Whatever your next is, you really need to embrace that. And what I mean by that is, just like you said goodbye to the old, now you're saying hello to the new. Now that may seem like, come on, Dr. Sandra, what you talking about? What does that mean? Okay, what I mean by that is when you step into something new, it is a world of new possibilities. It is a world of new things that you have to learn, new people, all right? New things that you may have to learn, new processes, new systems, all kinds of new things. But embrace the new and welcome it. And let me tell you something. Even if what you have to embrace, okay, even if what you have to embrace is difficult, even if you have to stay up a little bit longer and study some more, okay, your next may be going back to school. I talked to one of my clients she called me, and I was so excited. I can't tell you what kind of school it is because then you might know who he is, and I don't want to do that. But she called me and she told me, Dr. Sandra, I've done something, and I'm so excited. And I said, what is it? She said, I've applied to go back to school. It's something that she has always wanted to do. And she said, yes, I'm scared. Yes, I don't know if I can do this. But I'll never know if I don't do it. Okay? I'm going to move into my next. I'm going to move into my next. I know, this is what she's telling me. I know that my next requires me to go back to school. I know that. But I've been so afraid. And she and I have been working together for a little while. And we've been going through some strategies and working through some things. And now she's like, you know what? I'm going to jump in this thing. I'm going to do it because I know that there are giftings on the inside of me, Dr. Sandra, and I want to be used. But I know in order to do that, I need some more education. I need some more learning. There's some things that I don't know, and I want to go back to school and get it done. And I've applied. I know I'm going to get in. She said, I know I'm going to get in, and I know I'm going to be taking classes, and I'm so excited. And she is fully embracing where she's going. Does she know everything? No. Okay? No, she doesn't. Is she a little bit afraid? Is she a little bit like, apprehensive? Yes, she is. Okay? But is she going to embrace the new, embrace the next, okay? Embrace where she is going and go full forward? Yes. Okay? Some of us, we let go. This is what happens. I've seen it happen over and over and over again. We let go of the past. We say, I'm going to let go. I'm going to be done. I don't have anything else to do with this. All right? And then, as soon as we let go of the past, we see something that's in our next, and it scares us. Oh, it scares us. And we get so apprehensive that we don't want to move into the new. And sometimes we even run back and circle back to the old. All right? We don't embrace the new. Embracing the new, embracing the next, means that whatever it is that you encounter when you get to the next, you've got to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God has you where he wants you. And when he has you where he wants you, that means he has you. He's going to take care of you. There is nothing that can defeat you. Let me give you all a secret. And this is something I learned when I maybe knew this, but I didn't know it until I was asked to teach something. We had these retreats at church. I haven't taught one in a while, but we had these retreats at church, and there's a particular piece of the retreat that's called the power of the cross. And I was actually asked to teach the power of the cross. And I will tell you all something. I actually thought I knew what happened at the cross. What I knew was that Jesus went to the cross. What I knew was that he was crucified, dead, and buried, rose from the dead, 3 days rose from the dead, and got it with all power, blah, 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 right? Okay? That's what I knew. That is good stuff because you hear it, but I did not really know what happened. What I learned, what actually happened at the cross, was that because I'm a child of God, I can never be defeated. Okay? Because Jesus went to the cross, the power of the cross is that victory is always going to be mine. Victory is always going to be yours. So when there are things that are struggles and there are things that challenge you, you don't fight from the perspective of a victim. You fight from the perspective of somebody who has already won. So see, when you fight from the perspective, or when you go into the situation from somebody who has already won, you're fighting, all right? Your perspective is different. So when something is challenging to me, I don't look at it as, oh, what am I going to do? Oh, what am I going to do? Oh my goodness, I don't know how to do this, or oh, this is happening, or oh, this is, oh. I don't do that. Okay, I go in saying, you know what? I realize this is hard. And let me preface this by saying, what I'm getting ready to tell you has nothing to do with education. It has nothing to do with experience. It all has to do with whether or not you're going to believe what Jesus did at the cross. And if you believe that, then what I'm getting ready to tell you, okay, is true regardless. Doesn't matter what education you have, doesn't matter what experience you have, doesn't matter what level of job you're on. All right. But if you know that when he went to the cross, that the devil was defeated in your life, if you believe that, and when you know that, then you go into situations from a perspective of victory. I don't walk in a situation thinking I'm going to be defeated. I don't care what it is. I don't care. I'm frank with y'all. I do not care what it is. If I walk up in there, you best believe, if I've got anything to do with it, if it's something that's mine, okay, that God has given to me, I am going to be victorious. I may not look like it. It may not look like it to you, because your definition of victory in my life, it may be different than God's definition of victory in my life. Okay? So stop going into your new, seeing a challenge, and then begin to put blinders on because you get frightened of what you see. Know that if you're in your next, if you've said it's time for me to move on, if you said it's time for me to move on and I'm going on to my next, if you've said that, and you know God has told you to go, you know that you're moving because you prayed and you fasted and you've asked God, what do I do next? Where am I to go next? And God, I see these signals, but what do you want me to do? When you know that, then I don't care how challenging the next thing will be. I don't care how challenging or what issues that you may have that come upon you. But I will tell you, when you remember that at the cross, every thing that could have tried to destroy you was already destroyed, or has already been destroyed, because the devil was defeated at the cross. We're the one that allowed the devil. No, I can't preach that tonight, y'all. I got to stay on task. Can't preach that tonight. But let me tell you this. Sometimes we give the devil more opportunity than he actually ever even deserves in our life. All right. When Jesus went to the cross and I learned the power of the cross, one night I should just do just a session on the power of the cross. If you all knew the power of the cross, when I learned that, when I learned what truly happened because God allowed his son to go to the cross, when I learned that, now I have a whole different perspective about everything. There are some things that are going on in this entity that I'm involved in. And I was concerned. Then I say, you know what? I'm not going to be concerned about it anymore. You know why? God's got it. The devil's been defeated. I don't care when I see people acting a certain way. When I see and hear about things that are going on that I know are not of God. When I see and I hear things, I still say to myself, because I am there. Because I'm there. And there are other people there that I know love the Lord. Because we're there, God's got us. God's got us. All right? So because of that, I just give it to God. Literally, give it to God. So, and I know that God has already worked it out. And the next that is getting ready to happen in your life, the next that God has planned for you, it may look challenging, but you must embrace it. You must say, I am ready to take on whatever's in the new, and I'm going to take it with a new attitude. I'm not going to go in there afraid. I'm going to go in victorious. I'm not going to go in wondering if I can do it. I'm going to go in saying, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'm not going to go in thinking that that the devil is going to try to kill me. I'm going to go in saying, you know what, devil, I know that you came to kill, to steal, and destroy, but Christ came that I might have life. And because he gave me that life, he gave it to me more abundantly. You go in to the new, to your next. All right? Embracing it with all that God meant for it to be. Leave the old behind and go into the new with everything that God meant for it to be. Whew, my God, my God. Number one was say goodbye to the old. Okay, you got that one. Number two, embrace the new or the next that God is sending you to. Whew. Number three, ask yourself, what habits, what new things do I need to learn in my next? All right, whatever my next is, now that it's time to go, what new things do I need to learn? Okay, I'm going to need to learn new people. I'm going to need to learn new processes. I'm going to need to learn other kinds of new things. Just maybe read some new books. All right. Some of you all need to leave because you're hanging around folk that are holding you back. Okay. I want to make sure I'm not getting to I'm kind of bleeding into my next one. But some of you, when you say new habits, how many of you read a book in the past 30 days? How many of you taken a class? Whether it's online, some of you have been here every single week, so I know y'all have been working. Some of you are in I forgot to say hey to the inner circle. Hey, inner circle. Mwah. Love y'all. Okay. Some of you are in the inner circle, so I know y'all have been working. Okay. Some of you are in my intimate inner circle. Some of you are in my open group mentoring. Some of you are in my individual mentoring. And I know you've been working because I work you like crazy. Okay, because you want to get to your next, and when you hire a vision coach to get to your next, you are going to get there. All right. All right. Exactly, Della. Leaders are readers. Okay. Somebody asked me how I do this, but it's just my thinking. I literally Elder Prophetess Scarborough says, yes, ma'am, you do. Yes, I gave her a book last week, and I said, I want the first 8 chapters done before we meet in 2 weeks. All right. Robin says, work me. Yes, I will work. I'm the wrong person to say that you're ready to move on. I'm the wrong person to say that you're ready to get to the next place in your life. Don't work with me if you don't want to get there. Okay. Because my clients will tell you, we work hard, we set goals, we achieve those goals, we make those things happen, and we move forward. Okay. All right. So now, what kind of habits do you need to have? If you're moving into the next, and you know it's time to go, sometimes there's some things that you have to do between leaving the old and going into your next. Sometimes there's some things that you might need to do. And sometimes you may not even know, what do I need to read? What do I need? Oh, Robin says, oh, you want to work? Robin, hey, send me a message. We'll talk about it. Okay. Or look in my, we'll talk about it later. I don't want to talk about that right now because we'll talk about that later. But you want to work bad? Okay. Yes, we'll make that happen. All right. So sometimes you may not know what it is that you want to do. Okay. And you may not know what it is that you want to read or you need to go. Well, let me tell you something. This is something I've learned. When I'm in a state of not knowing, all right, there's one of two things you can do. You can either do it the hard way and you can just like kind of choose this and go here and go there and go here. And you're kind of a hodgepodge and you're not getting anything. Or you can get a good mentor, get some good coaching, and get on a track of moving forward. Okay. Some people don't realize it, but there are processes to move forward. There's some things that you have to do in your life to move forward. And I'll be frank with you. Everybody doesn't know how to do that. Because if they did, they'd be moving forward. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Somebody asked me when I left community colleges, what are you going to do? I'm going to move forward. God has already mapped it out. He mapped it out before I left. You have to understand that. Okay? Dorothy says, I need you in my life. Hey, Dorothy, you see me every Monday night. I love you. For those of you that are watching this on the recording, you can't see the actual comments on the recording unless you're watching it in Facebook. Those of you that are watching this in YouTube, there are actually people that I'm talking to because they're watching this live. These are all recorded live. All right. So sometimes you may see me throw some kisses or say hello to some people, but that's because you're watching this on a replay of an actual live recording. Okay. Live teaching. So, but find out what kinds of things you need to do. Get someone. If you're moving into your next, find someone who has done it and can walk you through the process. See, that's what people tend to not do. They go out and they connect with people who are great, anointed people of God. They are professionally great people, but they haven't been where you want to go. Okay? They just haven't been there. When I stepped out and wanted to start my own company, speaking and coaching and mentoring, I really didn't know the industry. I didn't. So I went and found someone who was making $1 million doing what I'm doing or what I wanted to do. And I asked her to coach me. She coached me for a year. She's still my coach. I'm still one of her clients. Okay. She still works with me. We don't work as much together because I'm really moving. I have different kinds of questions and different needs. When I wanted to get more into social media, all right, I wanted to get more into social media. I didn't know what to do. Okay. I love Facebook. I thought if I posted it out there, people would see it and people would come. That ain't the way it works. Okay. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to make an investment tomorrow for someone to help me do my digital online marketing. Not something I know how to do. They're going to help me understand it to a deeper dive. Okay. Because when you go into your next, you've got to do things at the next level. Okay. At your next level. Now, I don't mean it's like next level that everybody says. Go to the next level. Do things at the next level. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what is it required for you when you move to your next. Okay. What is required at that level? Okay. Your next could be to go back to school. Okay. What is required? Your next could be, to leave this particular job and go to another one. What is required? Okay. Your next is to maybe get balance in your household. Okay. What's required of you at that next level? What's required of you at that next? Your next could just be, like I said, to get balance in your household. Your next could be to get your finances on board. Okay. If your next is to get your finances on board, then you need to get a financial coach. Okay. Kimberly Hines Winborn, one of my clients, she's actually on here. She does this fantastic teaching. I keep this book all the time because I love it. Okay. It's called Financial Fitness. And she's a finance coach. So if you need to go to your next in your finances, then you need to talk to someone who has been there, done that, and can help other people Okay? If you need to go to the next in your ministry, all right, if you're trying to get to that next in your ministry, why are you talking to someone who hadn't started a ministry? Or why are you talking to someone who still has a ministry of 3 folk? Oh, did I say that? Why are you talking to someone whose ministry is declining? If you're going to your next, then you need to align yourself and understand the habits that you need to have at your next. Okay, so number 1, saying goodbye to the old. Number 2, embracing the next. Number 3, asking yourself, what habits do I need to have in my next? One of my habits that I'm actually trying to break, but every time I go into a next, I will get a ton of new books. A ton. And I literally read them all at the same time. Let me, I hate to bring all these out, but I want to make a point. I was looking at getting to my next in terms of some teaching that I was working on. You see all these books right here? Some of you can see them. Some of you can see them. Some of you can't. But these are all books. Woman Code. Knowing Your Value. Leading Vertically. Living Forward. Climbing the Ladder in Stilettos. No, this one is, that one's something else. Girl Boss. Okay? And this one is Girl, if I can pick it up, Girl Code. This one is H3 Leadership. And then there's the one that is by Damon John called The Power of Being Broke. I was looking at doing something. And I knew that it was something in my next. And so I went out and I bought all those books. Went out and bought them all. And read them all. Okay. All right. Now, I'm the kind of person that can read. No, I try to do no more than 5 books at a time. But I can read about 5 books at one time. Okay. It's just the way my mind thinks. And it's the way I plot information and do things. And the way I read. All right. So if there's a habit that you need to have in your next, go do it. I was studying once on the authority that I had as a believer. When I told you about the power of the cross, and I was studying the power of the cross, I got so many books on what actually happened at the cross. This is one of my favorites. It's called The Believer's Authority. What they didn't, what you didn't learn in church. Okay? And so this book right here is just wonderful. As a matter of fact, my ministry mentor, Dr. Pastor, Prophet, Dr. Bishop, I call her all those things, Apostle, because she is, Dr. Shirley R. Brown, actually recommended me this book. It's called The Believer's Authority. It's a wonderful book. I think actually her church may have done a whole teaching on that book. But anytime you go into your next, you need to ask yourself, what habits do I need to have now? And you need to begin to do those things. Some of you are still stuck because you're still asking people what to do in the next, and they haven't gotten to the next themselves. Oops. Let me let that sink in. Some of you haven't gotten to your next because you're hanging around people who haven't gotten to theirs yet. Okay? All right. Everybody okay? It's quiet. Y'all are quiet. I'm assuming you're writing. Okay, thanks. I see Kimberly Taylor is putting those hearts across. All right. Now, let's go to number 4. I've got one more after this. 2 more. Number 4, and then I got number 5. Okay? Number 4. Ask yourself, who do I need to connect with in my next? Oh, Tanya says you're taking notes. Okay? All right. Ask yourself, who do I need to connect with in my next? Now, this is a deep one, and I'll tell you why. Because this is the one where the enemy is going to try to trick you into thinking that there are people that you should be connected with, and it'll look good and you'll think they're the right people to be connected with, and they're not. Okay? You can't go into your next alone. Remember that no man is an island. All right? Islands stand by themselves. We're in the middle of a body of water. Islands are covered by water on every side. All right? No man should be an island where you're out there by yourself. Or no woman should be an island where you're out there by yourself. Okay? You need to connect yourself with the right people. Hear me, that are also going to their next. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. Okay? You need to connect with people that are also going to their next. Y'all, I cannot tell you how important it is to be connected to people that have the same mindset as you do. When you are around people that all they want to do is to talk about others, is to complain, is to do all these other kinds of things that have nothing to do with where you're going, what is this right here? You need to cut yourself off from them, especially when you're going to your next. Now, there are some friends, and you've heard me say this before. If you've ever been online with me, you've heard me say this before, is that I have some friends that are ride or die, I guess you call them. Okay? Or ride or live, I guess you say. All right? And we don't do the same things. A couple of them, we think the same way. All right? But what I want to do professionally and what I do is different from what they do. But we have the same mindset. We have the same mindset spiritually. We have the same mindset emotionally. Okay? So whatever I do or whatever they do, we're always supporting each other. Okay? Now, there are other people that we have the same mindset professionally and we work together. We do things together. We go to the same workshops. We go to the same kind of masterminds. We get together on Zoom and we work with each other on Zoom. That's those kinds of people, regardless of the kind of people you need to be around. You need to be around people that are going to their next, just like you are. And let me tell you something. If someone's jealous of you because you're moving to your next, cut them off, or at least cut them off for this season. You might can pick them back up later, okay? But you don't need anyone in your season or in your circle that is telling you that you don't need to go back to school. You don't need anyone in your circle that is telling you, you know what, if I were you, I'd stay here and just listen to all this, and I'd be a part of all this, and I know it's bad, but just go ahead and stay. Just go ahead and be. I know it's toxic in here. I know they're talking about you here on the job, but just go ahead and stay. Let me help you. Okay, let me help you. Get those people out of your face, out of your mind, out of your ears, because they're not helping you any. As a matter of fact, they're part of the top. They're one of the signals that it's time to move on. Okay. Oh my goodness, y'all are just a commenting. Can't move behind someone parked and not moving. Exactly. All right. Connect with ones that are going to their next. All right. Yes, say it. There are some people that are just jealous because you're moving on and they are not. You know, one of the things, and I'm not saying this out of boastfulness. I'm just saying it's because it's a fact. I'm just saying it's because it's a fact. Okay. I am the kind of person, as are many of you. You know you pray. You fast, you can hear from God for yourself, and you know what God has told you to do. You're very confident in who you are. People don't bother you, all right? Because you're going to go and you're going to do whatever it is that God has called you to do. You don't allow people to get you down, okay? And you just move. When you have those kind of characteristics, people get kind of jealous of you. And it's not a jealous of they wish that they had what you had. They wish they had some of the characteristics that you have. But it's all from the fact of I am very confident in who God made me. You can be very confident in who God made you. All right. And when you are around the right people and you have the right people in your circle, confident people breed other confident people. Confident people draw other confident people. I don't usually draw people to me who, as we say in Rockingham, poor mouth. I don't usually draw people to me who are woe is me, because they know I really don't want to hear it. I'll hear it for like a minute. I'll hear it and then boom, we're gonna be getting some plans together, and we're gonna move you out of this. We're gonna put a plan together. We gotta get to the next phase of something. We're gonna do something, but you can't stay where you are. So if you want to be around people that are different in your next, then there might be some people in your now that you got to let go of. Because the people in your now, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but the people in your now could be the reason that you're stuck in your now and you're not moving to your next. People in your now could be the reason that you're not growing. What were the things we said? The signals? People in your now could be the reason you're not motivated. People in the now could be the toxic people. People in your now could be the ones that are draining you. The people in your now could be the ones telling you, oh, you know, you're right where you should be. You don't need to move up, or you don't need to move on. The people in your now are the ones that could be saying that, and they're keeping you from your next. When it's time to move on, you need to ask yourself, who do I need to connect with? And if you don't know, pray. Believe me, God will send them to you. God will open doors, and God will have you in relationships. God will have you in the different kind of relationships that you never even knew existed. There are people in my life today, and some of them are on this. I saw, like, for example, I'm sure she won't mind me calling her out. LaShonda DeBrew is on this call today. I didn't know LaShonda DeBrew 5 years ago. I did not know her 5 years ago. I didn't even know she existed. But now she and I are close friends. Where she comes to North Carolina, I'm seeing her. I go to DC. Okay, when she comes here, she sees me. When I go there, I see her, because we're like-minded. Okay, we have made a connection professionally and now personally. All right, we've been mentored by the same person, and still being mentored by the same person, actually. All right, we can talk about what's going on in each other's life. Okay, I'm not exactly sure. Can y'all let me know if y'all are still going? Can y'all still see me? I need for somebody to let me know, because something happened here on my computer. I'm just trying to make sure I'm still there. Okay, I see the lights coming across. Thank you, thank you. Okay, all right. Because for some reason it stopped on my computer. I'm not exactly sure why. There we go. Let me see what's doing it. I think it may be a function of my computer, not a function. Yeah, something did just happen. Something happened with y'all too. All right. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, now it looks like it's come back in. Okay. All right, now it looks like it's there, still there. Okay, great. Thank y'all. And now I see it here. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, I'm not sure. All right, so maybe because it's 10:03, it's my reminder I need to hurry up. All right, but here's the thing. LaShonda and I didn't even know each other a year ago. 5 years ago. All right, but we are close. We've done business things together. She spoke at my conferences. Okay, we're preparing for some things for her. All right, there's some business work that she's done for me. There's somebody that I'm getting ready to go into some business work with tomorrow that I didn't even know existed 5 years ago. Y'all, when you go into your next, let me help you with something. When you go into your next, everybody that's there with you in your now will not be able to go with you in the next. They're just not ready. Okay? There's some people that I love dearly. Love them dearly. But they can't go with me into my next. They don't understand it. Okay? It was so funny. Yesterday, my mama always, when we leave and get on the road, my mama always anoints us with oil, and she always prays with us before we go, right? So my mom was anointing me with oil. And she used to but when I was working for community colleges, she would anoint me and she would say, Lord, help my daughter in those colleges, and so on and so forth. And this time she said, she anointed me with oil and laid hands on me. And she said, oh, Father, whatever it is my child is doing. I know she's making money. I know she's doing great. But whatever it is she's doing, bless her, God. Okay? Now, does she have to know? No. Right? Does she really want to know? She knows I'm helping women. She knows that I'm mentoring. She knows that I'm coaching. About what I'm doing, she doesn't know all those kind of details. But I know that she's praying for me. And I know that she is the one that will stay connected to me regardless. All right? And there's some people, y'all, that don't understand what you're doing, and they want to get connected to you because they see you moving. But keep in mind, everybody you can't take with you, and you got to decide who are you going to be connected with in your next. All right, that's one of the ones that really gets to me when it comes to people going into their next. And sometimes you don't prosper in your next because you are hanging around the same people that you're hanging around today. I'll give you a phenomenal example. I can't mention the young lady's name because she hasn't, oh yeah, you gotta love mama. Okay. Yeah, my connection was interrupted for no reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but we'll keep moving. Okay. Give me about 10 minutes, y'all, 10, 15, and then we'll be done for the night. Okay. There was a young lady. I was actually at Kimberly Hines Winborn. I was actually at a function of hers. And there was a young lady who our sons play on the same basketball, in the same basketball association kind of thing. This is with AAU. And she had seen me on Facebook and listened to me and everything. And she says, when you speak in person, I want to come hear you. Okay. And she did. And I spoke at something that Kimberly was having, and she came, and she literally now, I believe, has a whole new group of friends. Because now when I see her, I used to see her on Facebook with the same old folk doing the same old thing. Now I see her on Facebook and she's posting pictures of her and Kimberly, or her and this person, or her and that person, that her network is expanding because she stepped out and began to connect with different people. All right? Different people that are like-minded, like-hearted. All right? And here's something else that I am learning. Okay? I learn and grow from any and everybody. Okay? I can learn and learn things about myself, learn what I like, learn what I don't like from any and everybody. Some of you, now, it takes a level of spiritual maturity to get this, what I'm getting ready to say. But some of you, the reason that you aren't growing is because you're looking for the saints to be able to give it to you. The saints are not what's going to give it to you. God is the one that's going to give it to you. Whatever the it is that you're looking for, okay? You're looking for, and you're only connecting, you're only listening to the saints. I'm not saying I listen to people that are atheists. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if somebody has some information that I want, I don't care if you believe in slewfoot, dogfoot, whatever. If you got some information I want, I am going to get it from you. Okay? Doesn't mean you and I are going to connect and be the best of friends, because we believe differently. All right? But I know that when God connects me with a person, it's because that I need to get the information from that person. All right? One of my coaches, love her dearly. And DeBrew knows who I'm talking about. Love her, love her, love her. She is phenomenal. She is a millionaire. She works incredibly hard. She has taught me some mechanics of some stuff that I would have never known in my business had I not been connected with her. But let me tell you something. That woman can cuss. That woman can say some of the things that come out of her mouth. And she knows she has several preachers that she coaches. Okay? Several preachers that she coaches, and she still does it. And you know what? Do we influence her? Yes. She's told me before, Dr. Sandra, you influence me. She told me that. And there's several of us that she's told that to. All right? And the thing about it is that she is an excellent coach. Now, will she and I go and be the best of friends? I have no idea what God has in store for us. But I tell you what, I'm growing from her. She motivates me to do better in my business. She is sustaining me, not draining me. Okay? And the other things, I am motivated just to be around her. All right? She lets me know this is the more, that God has so much more for you, Dr. Sandra. All right? So now, she and I may not go. One thing, she's in Oklahoma, so we can't go out together like that. But when I'm talking to her, or when I'm listening to one of her classes or doing something, she may curse. But I get over it and I move on. Because I know that there's some information that she has that I need. And she's teaching me well, and she's doing a great job. That's just the way it is, y'all. Yes, exactly, Prophet Scarborough. If he can use a donkey, he can give you information from anyone. That's one thing that we need to get, y'all. All right? I love the saints. I do. I love the people of God. I do. I do. But I've learned from several men and women of God that sometimes God is going to put you in a place where you are the only one that believes in him. And I have been there. I am on boards. I am on boards and different things where I'm like, God, why do you even have me here? But I'm learning. I'm learning how to do work at this high level, at this chief level. I'm learning how to do work so that when I walk into a boardroom at a company that I'm doing business with, I know how to operate. Some of you turn down invitations because folk ain't saved. You're missing out on your blessing. You're missing out on your blessing. Let me go on to number 5. Number 1, remember, these are the 5 actions that you have to take once you've decided it's time to go. Okay? Get out. Go. Okay? Number 1, say goodbye to the old. Number 2, embrace the new. If you're just joining us and you're watching this on the replay, please make sure you go back and listen to it all. Had a couple of technical difficulties in there, so kind of weed through that and make sure you listen. Number 3, you ask yourself, what new habits do I need to form in my new season? Number 4, you ask yourself, who do I need to connect with in my new season? And number 5, and this one I'm going to spend 2 minutes on, then we're going to go, is what vision am I moving forward to in my next? I'm going to my new season. I'm going into my next. I'm going to a new job. I'm going to a new church. I've got new friends. What vision now do I have on my life? What am I looking forward to doing? What is it that God has me to do now that I'm in the next? You need to seek God and ask him about that. Here's some things. Some of you are stuck and you're asking yourself that you're wondering why God is not giving you any more, or why is it that God will not allow you to move forward? It's because you are staying in the old. You won't embrace the new. You're keeping the same old crazy habits that you had before. You won't embrace new people. And if you don't do those, then there's no way that you can execute the vision that God has given you. It's just not going to happen. So when you know it's time to move on, when you know it's time to take that leap, remember, leap, launch exceptionally into your new position. All right, launch. I didn't get that right. That's not right. Launch exceptionally into your accurate position. All right, launch exceptionally into your accurate position. When you know that it's time for you to leap, then you've got to do these things we were just talking about. You've got to let go of the old. You've got to embrace the new. You've got to ask, what new habits do I need? You've got to ask, who do I connect with? And you have to have some type of personal vision going in. That personal vision, again, may be, I'm going back to school. I'm going to take it a semester at a time. And then you map out everything from now until the time for you to graduate. And you work that plan. Your next may be that you're getting ready to go to a new church. All right? But you don't know what that new church is yet. That may be your next. All right? And if that's your next, then you just ask God, God, where do you want me to go? And he may have you visiting for a while. I don't know who this is for. He may have you visiting for a while before you go someplace. I don't know. All right? You may ask God about, God, is this, I know it's time for me to get another job. I know it's time for me to leave. Well, let me give you a hint. You're not going to get another job by just sitting there looking and complaining about the old one every day. All right? So do something. Make a plan. Write the vision. The Bible says write the vision and make it plain. Okay? So that those who read it can run with it, including you. Write down, write out, what is it? Okay? What is it that God has for you? What is it that you should be doing? You know, in the inner circle, we have the inner circle gets a coaching package every week. Okay, excuse me, every month, not every week, every month. They get a coaching package every single month, and we work on something every single month. As a matter of fact, I just released yesterday to the Inner Circle the 7 questions to ask yourself. I love numbers, y'all. I'm a mathematician. What can I say? I love numbers. I'm a math major mathematician, and I love numbers. So I just gave the Inner Circle the 7 questions you ask yourself to clarify your calling. Okay, that's what we're working on now, being very clear about what God has called us to do. Be very clear about our calling, about our assignment, okay? That's what we're working on. So when you work towards that, you're working towards a vision that God has given you. You're moving forward in what God has called you to do. Some of you, and I've been there, so I know exactly how you feel. I know how it is when you want to move forward and you feel like you can't. I know how it is when you feel stuck in a place and you wonder why you feel stuck. It's because you've got to take some action. When God says it's time to move on, when God says it's time to go, get out, when God says it's time for all that, y'all, you have to move. If you keep waiting and waiting, you'll dig yourself deeper and deeper, and you'll begin to wonder, why is it? Why can't I move forward? Why is God blessing her and not me? And I'm going to end with 2 things. First of all, remember I told you that I was still am in a particular place. Haven't moved on from the place because God hasn't said move on. But what God did say is to remove yourself from a particular situation. Okay. And as I said, sometimes God will move you out of a situation, keep you in a place, but move you out of a situation. And I found out that once I moved myself out of a situation, oh my goodness, my heart felt free, my mind felt free, and the anointing of God on my life because I took myself out of something is even heavier. Wasn't at my own church for 2 months because I was preaching at so many other places. All right. People call me. My calendar for first quarter is almost booked. As a matter of fact, we were looking at it the other day. I had somebody call me and wants me to do a series of teaching at their church. And we were looking at that and my calendar's booked. We were trying to find some times. And I am booked. Okay. And it's not because I'm all that. It's because when you launch exceptionally into your accurate position, when you leave the old, when you embrace the new, when you get the new habits that you need, when you write out your vision, when you connect with the people that God needs for you to connect with, God will have you doing the things that He has positioned you for, that He has prepared you for. And some of you wonder why you don't move. It's because you're still in a place that you should have moved on from a long time ago. Some of you, I'm going to say this right here and then I keep saying that, but I got 2 more things, okay? Some of you need to move on from yourself. Stop beating yourself up over things that happened a long time ago. Move on. Move on. I don't know who this is for. Move on. Forgive yourself. Allow yourself to move on. Stop beating yourself up over something that happened a long time ago and allow yourself to embrace what God has for you. Stop. Okay, now I'm getting ready to preach and then I'm gonna like as my daddy say, I'm gonna be through. Stop looking for approval from everybody around you. Stop crying. Stop asking God because God has already given you the answer. You just don't want to do it. Okay? Stop trying to asking everybody, should I? Ask God what you should do and He will give you your answer. The reason that you can't get answers from certain people because you're asking people who have not experienced where you're going. Or where God is giving, where God is sending you. There are certain things that I don't ask certain people because I know they can't help me. I know they can't. I have 4 ladies that pray for me regardless. They are part of my own personal inner circle, my own prayer team. They pray for me. They'll send me a text when they want me to know something, and sometimes they'll just send me a text letting me know they're praying for me. Those women don't have to know where I am every day. All right? I send them a text and say, I need you to pray about this. Some of you, there's a difference between prayer and approval. I need for somebody to get that one. I need for somebody to get that one. There is a difference between seeking prayer, all right, asking someone to pray for you, and asking for someone's approval. Sometimes you all go to people in prayer, but what you're really looking for is approval, and that's why you can't move. I seldom ever seek anyone's approval but God's. Okay? And most of the time, I'll say 98% of the time, all right, when God gives me something, I have to get over myself sometimes in order to do it, because sometimes I get scared, all right? I get a little nervous, and I have to get over myself in order to do it. But when God gives it to me, I seldom seek anyone's approval. I'll talk to my husband, make sure it's financially feasible, and if he says no, then I say, well, you've got to work it out. And every time, Dennis Williams works it out. Every time. I mean, there are certain people that I go to and I ask about different things. But when God gives me something, I am very spiritually mature. A lot of you are very spiritually mature, but you've been seeking approval from the wrong folk. And those folk have had you bound for so long that now when it's time to go to your next, you can't go because they've had you bound up. Okay? All right. I tell you what. Tonight's lesson, I could keep going and going, but it is 10:21. Y'all know I've been on here too long. If you're watching this on the replay, thanks for hanging here with me. I apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we've had, all right, throughout tonight. For those of you that listen to this, listen to it again. Listen to it again. Listen to last week. If you missed last week, get last week. Because last week we talked about the 5 signals that you know it's time to move on. And then re-listen to this one. Okay? Yes, Kimberly, it's good. Last week was good. I'm going to be teaching this weekend at the Virginia Women's Business Conference. Okay? Going to be teaching there. Hey, Joyce, how are you? Okay? Going to be teaching there. Excited about that. Got lots of things in line. I'm going to give y'all a sneak preview. I am going to be starting an online Bible study in January. I'm excited about that. Okay? It is going to be online, and I am just so excited about it. God's called me to teach. And I tell you what, it is the things that God has put in me, and my ministry mentor who has just helped me so much in terms of moving forward. Some of the things I'm a little nervous about, but going to move forward in them anyway in terms of ministry. And who is my spiritual father now? One of my spiritual fathers has passed away. My other spiritual father, I talked to him about it, and he's excited. And but it's always interesting, and I've told you all this over and over and over again, that when you move, God will position you for more. When you move, God will position you for more. Ladies, I can't stress to you enough that if you've got the signals that it's time for you to move on, if it's time for you to leap, launch exceptionally into your accurate position, if it's time for you to leap and it's time for you to go, so you can leap, then make sure that you embrace the new, get rid of the old, ask yourself what habits, write that personal vision plan, ask yourself who you need to be connected with. And if you need to do whatever you need to do, just do it. We're in a time and a place where we can't stay the same way we are. There are too many people out there depending on us. Depending on what God has placed on the inside of us for us to stay still, for us to not do what God has called us to do. All right. For those of you that are in the inner circle, I will see you on, I think I'll do inner circle this week. I'm not exactly sure. I got to look at my calendar. Okay. See you this week. I know that we have December. The inner circle will open back up in January. Some of you have asked about that. I'm changing it a little bit. A lot of people have said that they can't meet the night the inner circle meets. So we're going to change about how we do things. Again, that comes from great coaching. My coach gave me the advice in terms of how we should do the inner circle so that everybody that wants to participate can. So we're going to change that. We're going to be making some changes at the beginning of the year. Of course, the inner circle will know that first, the current inner circle, and then we will announce it to everyone else. But we will be opening the inner circle back up. I'm excited about what God is doing in this time. And I will tell you all that be confident in what God is speaking to you. Be confident and know that it's God, and stop seeking people's approval for something that God has given you. All right? And remember that, as we said earlier, the power of the cross, when Jesus went to the cross, there's nothing the devil can really do to defeat you, because he's already defeated. He's a defeated foe. So fight from the right position. Fight from a position of victory, and stop fighting from a position of a victim. Okay? Stop letting the things that are going on around you impact you to the point that it becomes toxic to you. Get out of it. Let me share this with you, and then I'm going to head out. I know I said that 10 minutes ago, but I'll really do it this time. Okay. So someone said something to me today, and it really got me. Normally, I just be like, oh God, let's stick all of my tea. Y'all ain't telling you that. Okay. Normally, I just kind of move on, and, but this person said something to me, and it really got me. I was talking to my brother, and somebody came up and they said something to me, said the same thing to me and my brother. And I know they meant it in a negative way. I know they did. Because this person lied on me, started a lie about me in my church. And evidently they didn't think the lie would get back to me. But let me tell y'all something. When you help somebody as much as I help people, there's not much secret that people gonna have from you. People say things about me, and people come right back and tell me. Because I help people without people knowing. Okay, I don't boast about the people that I help. I don't boast about helping people. All right, so people come back and tell me things. They say, Dr. Sandra, you need to know this, or Elder Williams, you need to know this. Okay, but this person came up to me and he got to me today. But then my brother and I went outside and we were talking, and my brother looked at me and he said, "Don't ever let that happen again. Don't let people get to you like that." Okay? You know the person lied on you. You know the kind of person that you're dealing with. And because you know that, don't let them do what just happened in there. So it won't ever happen again. But again, that's because when you're connected to the right people can make sure that when things happen to you, they can put you back in the right groove. They can help your mindset get in the right mindset. Somebody today walked up to my son and said something to my son. Immediately I said, don't ever speak that over my son again. They said, you need to start growing. I said, oh no, don't you speak that over my son. Oh no, move on. Can't tell you who the person was. But I said, don't speak that over my son. Told him move on. Some of you need to stop letting people speak negative stuff over your life. You've been doing it for too long. Stop letting people speak negative things over your life, and hear God, and know that when God has called you, He has equipped you, He has prepared you, He has done everything that He needs to do, and now you have got to do it. Oh my goodness. I could stay on here for another hour, but I got to go. Okay. Got to call my mama. Y'all pray for my mom. My mommy fell yesterday, and she fell, and I left yesterday afternoon. I said, Mommy, you okay? She says, I'm good. And so she fell. Between her bed and her dresser. She had to lay there for about 45 minutes because she was just hurt and she couldn't get up. And so just pray. Just pray for my mommy. Y'all know me, I love my mama, as we all do. I love my mama. And so just pray, because that really, really, I'm torn. I'm probably going to get her and bring her up here. I think she needs to be up here with me. Okay. but she ain't gonna leave her man. She ain't gonna leave my daddy. All right. So I got my brothers and I have to figure out what to do. But just remember that operate out of the position that God expected you to be in. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you. Okay. Operate out of the right position. Stop operating out of a position that everybody else wants to put you in. And for those of you that it's time to go, say peace. Gotta go. Love you. All right. And know that God's got you. All right. He's not going to put you in something that He hasn't already prepared you for. Stop struggling. And here's something else. Something that a very good friend of mine told me. Sometimes you might go and come back. That's okay. Sometimes you got to go to get yourself clear. And then you may be able to come back. Anyway, this may be another session that we may pick up sometime in the future. And thank you all so much for praying for my mommy. All right. I very concerned. My brothers and I are very concerned, and so we're just praying that God leads us in what to do and how to do. So with her, that fall yesterday last night was a big one, and so we are praying. So thank you, Ernestine. Thank everyone for being here tonight. Remember, I did want to tell you that we have a couple of new teachings that we have coming up in 2018. For those of you who are women in ministry who want to be coaches, yes, we have a new coaching certification, and it is the bomb. No one is doing it. It is the bomb. And for those of you who want to start a women's ministry, I am going to be doing a free workshop on how to start a women's ministry. Yes, how to appropriately, I should say, start a women's ministry. And so, or any program for women. It could really be for any program for women, any business for women, any ministry for women, but we're going to be doing that also. So you'll see lots of new things come forward. Like I said, I have just hired a marketing manager. I have a marketing, someone on my team now that does marketing. I'm excited to be working with this team, and we're going to move things forward. So thank you all for joining. I'll see the inner circle this week. Love you all so much. Have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.